With a late work event booked in Devon, I decided to spend a few hours on the Bristol Avon, a river I'd never fished before but one I'd always wanted to visit. With the sun going down as I arrived at my Airbnb, it gave me a little chance to scope out the river and have a look, meaning I could get up at first light and fish some decent areas for a couple of hours. The stretch that I was planning on fishing had a really good mix of slow, deep pulls and faster, shallower stretches. But with the long dry summer that we'd had, the river was well down on its usual level and there were rocks and snags exposed that would usually have been a few feet under the water. The scenery, like most of the English countryside, was stunning and made for really enjoyable fishing. I was travelling light as usual with just a bag and some essentials along with a centre pin and a rod that I hadn't actually used before, my Drennan 15-foot Match Pro Ultralight. This rod was a lot lighter than a lot of the river rods I generally use, and actually quite a joy to use. I started my session at the very bottom end of the stretch where I'd seen a few chub from the bridge above. I instantly started getting a few shy bites on the float, but within 2 or 3 runs down the float disappeared and I was into my first proper fish. Playing these decent sized chub in shallow water is always an experience. They do what they can to reach every single snag. Having managed to free up from the reeds, a lovely chub of about 3.5 pounds gave up. I caught a few smaller chub before moving up to the faster flowing water, which looked a lot more inviting. I worked my way up towards the weir section and fished in the likely looking spots as I went, catching a few chub. Playing the chub in these faster waters was really enjoyable, and as another fish came towards the waiting net, I was really glad I took the time to visit this lovely river. These were by no means specimen fish, catching fish to just under 4 pounds, although I did see some much nicer ones, but it was really good sport for a couple of hours. I must give a shout out to Mere Angling Club. If you are down in the southwest, please consider joining this club. It has some really good waters.